what tools are you seeing like that kind of can enhance the relationship building?
Ooh, AI. To enhance it? Is that
Yeah,
what your
like
question
where
is?
you get where you can create more relationships, or reach out to more people, or things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would use AI to maybe like do some research on industries to like give you like some talking points to certain people depending on what they do for a living or what their work is, things like that. I will say people have to be very careful about leaning on some of these like tools for writing because
Mm-hmm. It's not
we
quite
just talked
there.
about that. There's something about you as a person that connects with someone else, right? The human factor is what drives like people to tell you their life story, right? If you were a
Mhm.
robot, they probably wouldn't.
Welcome to the Yacht Captain Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Kidd, where every week we dive deep into conversations with real estate pros, business owners, and maritime professionals about their mindset and journey to success. Please help support us on our journey and our channel by liking, subscribing, and commenting below so we can help you in your journey to success. How you doing today? Scott Kidd, the Yacht Captain Investor Podcast. I got my friend here, Julie Bergeron. She's a marketing specialist. And today we're going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn strategies, other software that investors use, and real estate business owners. How you doing today, Julie?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I am doing well. Just for people for the two or three people that don't know who you are, just go ahead and give a brief intro of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Julie. I run a marketing agency for the last 7.5 years now. I can't even say that straight. So we do websites, social media, SEO, Google Ads, but our main focus is social media content creation and like putting out there. And then how I know Scott is that we do a lot of work with real estate investors, like syndicators for multifamily, RV, self-storage. So we do content for them as well and help them get, the word out for whatever property they're working on.
Yeah, it's social media has really been a game changer for especially just attracting partners, investors, vendors, things like that. Like-minded people that are.
I mean, if you think about it, that's where all the attention is, right? Like that's where everyone spends their time. I don't care who you are, what you do, what you're watching on there, whether it's cat videos or comedians or podcasts, like everyone's on social media.
Yeah, and they are, and there has been a big push recently by LinkedIn to really make it more socially business savvy, rather than before was just business connections or people they're actually looking for a job, because I think that's what it kind of first started out as, and then now it's kind of morphed into a lot of different things where they're pushing video and a lot of other newsletters, and people write articles, and I found it to be really useful. What have you found to be very useful for your clients?
I mean, LinkedIn is kind of where the magic happens. So we do a lot in all platforms, right? So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, even for like video content. And LinkedIn is, to me, it's like and it's not so unknown because there's like billions of users, right? I don't remember what the statistic is, but they're still adding
something. Yeah, a billion plus easily. Yeah.
Yeah, because they add on new users like by the hundreds, thousands every day, right? Mm-hmm. So, but what we love most about LinkedIn is that like you're getting focused attention, right? People go on LinkedIn to do business one way or another. And so you're not competing against comedians telling jokes. You're not competing against the cat video, playing around on the ground or whatever. And so it's that you already have like half the battle of capturing the attention is there. So it's just a matter of putting stuff out there that people are going to find engaging.
Yeah.
And I do love what LinkedIn did with like the new videos. Like it shows up almost like the Reels feed, like, because you could just swipe through people's like videos now and kind of like see them all. And you see them like full screen. Unlike before, it was kind of, you cut off the top and the bottom.
Yeah, it was kind of square video. And then also you didn't really have you didn't really have quite the focused attention that you have now. Like people can really niche down and tell exactly what they're doing, and they used to just show you like the newest whatever video was come out that was kind of related or newest content to you. Now, doesn't matter how old it is, if it's something that they think is more in your platform, like for instance, real estate investor, someone that's very popular, that'll pop up in your feed, or someone that is marketing, or someone in a similar business. And I've noticed, especially like if you have a LinkedIn Premium or Sales Navigator, which I do, you can be very strategic as who you want to speak to. And I know what's helped me is that depending on what type of property we're working on and what type of capital raise or investors or partners we're looking for, you can find them all there. Like, for instance, if you're looking for CEOs or other real estate developers, other people in construction, you can find those people potentially to partner with. If you're looking for different types of companies that you need, mortgage brokers, commercial brokers, they're all right there. And you can find within a few clicks, you can find hundreds of them in your specific area. And one thing that I thought was very unique was a button that they have that says that they posted recently, so that you know that they're an active user, rather than you get this giant list of people and they may not post, the last post, you go dig through their stuff, their last post was 2 years ago. Well, chances are, no matter how much you talk to them, they're not going to respond.
They're not regularly checking their LinkedIn, if they're not posting and engaging in part of it. And LinkedIn is big on that. Like, they reward people who show up and engage.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it really matters like how you spend your time on LinkedIn, like that. You're not just going on and posting all the time, but you're liking other people's posts, you're commenting, you're starting conversations in other places. It's not just focused on you. And they really focus on, sharing that out to more people. And now you also have the AI tools, which is why you get so much more suggested videos that you may not have seen before, because like the AI tools that they use are basically filtering content. So you don't have to be a huge content creator to be seen. Like, you don't have to be the Gary Vee to be like seen by millions of people, like on your LinkedIn. Like, if the tools find your content good and educational, they will automatically share that to everybody else. So your visibility chances are so much better now than they ever were before.
Yeah, and also I've noticed that if you do comment on certain people and other people do comment on yours, it tells you how many impressions you get from that comment. So if you do it, if you actually read through their posts and genuinely comment on what they were talking about, you get a lot more impressions. They push that more out to engage more conversations that are related to those posts. And then also, I did see there's some other tools, the AI tools you mentioned, were especially in Sales Navigator. When you look at someone and they come up in your search for however you've niched down, you can click on a couple of different things and it'll tell you like what you have in common with that person or what their highlights of their actual profile is. So it's a lot easier than drilling through and trying to figure out what they've done and where they've been. And one thing that's great too is the common connections. Like, if you're looking for, say, for instance, investors, and someone has just closed a deal, chances are a lot of the people that are following them, probably investors too, and you can go on there and create relationships there. And I've found the response rate on LinkedIn is much quicker than at least 8 to 5 in their normal business hours. It's pretty common for people to respond back to you pretty quickly. On other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, it's hit or miss. Like, even if you quote on somebody's thing all the time, they may or may not contact you, or it might be a few days or something like that. But what have you found?
Yeah. LinkedIn is definitely great for faster engagement, for sure. When you send your connection request, do you send a message or do you just like blankly? Yeah,
I,
you've
I
seen good
send I
results
send a
with that.
message usually, and usually it's because I like something that the post, or I met them at an event, or I met them, like for instance, the meetup where we met. Um, a lot of times when I meet people, I'll say, "Hey, great meeting you last night." It was great that we talked about X, and then it usually goes into a better conversation after, and then phone calls and stuff, and seeing where you can have commonalities, or where you can work together, or partner, or even just help each other if somebody needs something. And I think it's really been a game changer in that regard, because there really isn't another platform like it. I mean, a lot of people are on Instagram, and I had somebody tell me recently that their clients they were only on Instagram and Facebook, and I said, I doubt it.
I feel like that's not where they are.
No, I doubt it. I said, if they have a business, they're on, and you really want the business to business clients, unless you're wholly retail doing something like that.
For anyone who does networking, like it's
yeah,
a beautiful place too, right? Like we're all out there looking for business one way or another. If you're a business owner, if you're an investor, looking for connections. And I found too that LinkedIn is like the best way to connect with people when you do go networking, right?
yes,
Because you can connect in the moment, and then the follow up is so much smoother. Because yes, if we all had the time to call every single person that we met
yeah,
networking and follow up, that'd be great. Nobody does it.
yeah.
They
And
just
a lot,
don't.
and a lot of times your picture doesn't pop up. Like in LinkedIn, if somebody messages you, you see like, oh, that guy or that lady, that person, rather than like you random phone number. You're like, oh, and it's
Name.
John so and so. Oh,
You're like, it was great to meet you, John. I don't remember
hello.
who you are, what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've done that too. It's helped me become more strategic when I network as well, because then usually when you get the contact information, I usually the next day I put it all in LinkedIn, and or I write notes while I'm networking, and then that goes into the CRM or LinkedIn to remember who that person is, because you have to do some kind of word association, or that could have been the best connection in the world, but if you don't remember who they are, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Until you see them again and you're like, oh yeah. And then,
I was waiting on you. We were going to do that deal, and it was going to be amazing. I did it. I crushed it.
yeah. I was like, yeah, you don't want to miss out on those
Yeah, you
opportunities.
don't want to, because that's sometimes that might be all you need, and LinkedIn for the most part has really been a game changer for me. I know it has.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been really good for our clients too, especially like the investor clients. So, when as a real estate investor, you're always looking for connections, right? Your role based off you're in acquisitions, your general partner, you're always looking for limited partners, people to invest in your deals, to connect with you, right? If you connect with people, like even at an event, or if it was a mutual connection, like a referral from someone else and you got connected, if you're able to connect on LinkedIn, so it's not just like the conversation every once a month or once a couple of weeks that you reach out to each other, but they get to start to see like what you're about.
Yeah.
You're posting a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like they see what you're doing day to day. They get to know you. They get to know like the kind of deals you're talking about, or the industry knowledge that you have. And you start to kind of build this natural relationship, even though you may not have communicated directly, but now they're seeing you regularly,
Yeah.
right? And you get to keep an eye on what they're doing too, because maybe it's someone you thought would be a good investor, and then they post some shady stuff, and you're like, I'm not really sure I want that guy's
Maybe
money.
not. Yeah, well, it is true. You get to that. There's that. What is that? There's that formula 7-11-4, where 7 hours of content, 11 different types, and 4 different platforms, or something like that, before someone will trust you or actually engage with you. And if you do have a lot of videos or a podcast or something like that, someone can watch and get an idea of who you are by looking at a lot of the videos. I would recommend someone goes and looks at all my beginning videos, because they can see how not to do it.
Maybe you should start your videos that way,
Yeah,
be like,
this is what you don't
following
do.
is what you don't do.
This
Yeah.
is what you don't do. as one great networking tip is, what you really never want to do is when you go into a crowd of people, don't just regurgitate and start spewing out your deal immediately before you even ask what somebody's name is.
Right.
That's a good tip.
And it's a quick one to get you in trouble with the SEC as well.
Yes, it is. And it's also, it's like an our meetup. It is a no-no. There's no soliciting. It's just networking, because there's time and a place. You'll get much further networking or connecting with people if you first ask their name. Two,
that would help.
Maybe ask them about themselves, maybe get to know them, ask what they're doing, and then find out what their taste is, or what they're looking for, and then maybe you can add value to what they're doing. And because, especially as investors, real estate investors, you really want to make sure that your values and everything are aligned with that person.
100%, because it's like a mini marriage. You're going to be together for 5 to 7 years to 10 years, depending on what your exit strategy is.
Yeah,
you don't want to be stuck with the wrong people.
No, and if they're not, if they're really out for themselves, then it's best that you don't get involved. That's one of those things. You got to vet the sponsor. You got to know, who the partners are in there, and you want to make sure who you're getting into a partnership with. Because if you're not in alignment, it could be the best deal ever, but it could go completely south because they had a different intent than what you actually wanted to happen. But there's where you have to do all that due diligence and vetting up front, because if you don't, and there's where LinkedIn comes in again. You can follow somebody and watch what they're doing, look at the rest of their social media profile, see what they have going, because then you get an idea of what they're doing. If it's kind of all over the place, chances are
tells you a lot.
That's probably how they are. Stuff's kind of all over the place. But if they're very focused on what they're doing and they're more adding value to a lot of people and educating people, chances are you could probably vet them a little further. But always, check their financial background, their track record, their history, who they're partnered with. Do they have any bad deals? Do they, have a list of about 120 questions I go through.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's good vetting.
Yeah, and I have it's free on my site if anybody wants it, because it took me a long time to get to that point. Like when I first started, it was probably not that many questions that I asked that I should have asked, and probably not helping me now, because some of those deals didn't quite go as expected. But it's really, that's another reason why I just, investigate somebody's profile. If they're not much on social media, then you have to kind of go a different route, because I've known people that have actually paid to scrape the internet and take a lot of their records off. But those are usually really wealthy people, and they don't want people to follow them or show up at their house or anything like that.
Right, because there are crazy people out there.
And it's not because they have a criminal background or anything. It's just because they want to maintain a certain level of privacy.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
No,
sure.
I don't either. And what would you say are some other tips for people on social media other than LinkedIn? What are some other tips that you could give to for people doing social media and marketing for investment in general?
I was going to say in general, especially real estate investment, right? The business is about building relationships. So whichever platform you go on to do that, you could do that digitally, right? So a lot of us, and I was reminding myself of this morning, how many times we catch ourselves scrolling. Doesn't matter what platform you're on. You're just scrolling past one video or another. You watch one, you kind of chuckle. You keep going, you watch one, a podcast clip, and you find it super insightful, whatever, right? A lot of us we're not really partaking in it, right? We're just we're just the viewer. And the best way to build a relationship is just start liking and start commenting. If you like something, say it.
Yeah.
If you think a point that's shared is important, share it. And the more you support other people, then the easier it is to build that relationship, and then the more they'll support you. you know?
Yeah, that's so very true. I mean, I make a strategic effort every morning. I do a certain amount of time on LinkedIn and comment on the people I know, and especially people I know that are working to get deals done. Comment or do something on it because it gets them more engagement and it helps them. And also, a lot of the posts are pretty interesting and what people are talking about, and it's kind of more of you see a lot more what's trending, that maybe not exactly what's 100% true, but you see what's kind of trending, and you can kind of see who you're in alignment with and who kind of pops up, because you kind of, it could be pretty much a full-time job if you really wanted to get yourself higher on all the social media platforms. You'd probably have to spend an hour or so every day on every platform commenting and everything. But
job security for us.
Yeah, definitely is, because if you comment on every one of those platforms, it'll take some time, but you will get a lot more followers, a lot more engagement, and you'll actually get some genuine relationships out of it, because people will reach out to you. Because I've had people say, "Hey, I've been watching you for a while on LinkedIn and on YouTube and stuff, and would like to know more about what you're doing," and stuff like that. And that's kind of neat, actually, because some people actually say, "Well, I feel like I know you because I watched all your videos." And it's like, "Did you watch the beginning ones?" And they're like, "Yeah, those are pretty bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, you too."
And you really know me.
Yeah, because you too can be really bad for a long time and then make better videos that are not quite that awful.
Right. Hey, listen, everyone does it. Even Mr. Beast, the first videos that he came out, he's got he just hit 400 million subscribers or something the other day. Even I'm sure his videos in the back in the day.
I think you can scroll, you can go to the beginning and
it's all there.
It all up there, because the thing with him is just like a Gary Vee or like a Grant Cardone or somebody. They're just relentless. He just more content than everyone and all the time, and stays on top of everything.
Full-time job for him, for sure.
And he I think I saw him say, "I'm really bad at relationships, but I'm good at this."
Yeah, exactly. He got married recently, and he's like, "She understands that this is my life."
For now.
It's very early. Give her a chance. You never know. Maybe she'll get involved,
Maybe. She's probably going to have to if she won't see him.
Yeah, right. She'll have to. This is like our date night, in front of everybody watching.
Live, doing some kind of, he does some interesting stuff, and he's quite a sharp, he's a lot younger than I thought he was, because in that book, Science of Scaling with Dr. Hardy, I didn't realize I don't even think he's 30 yet.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I kind of, because he started super young. I mean, he's not been around that 15. Long, right? We're a little older than that. So
yeah. I think he started when he was like 15 or something like that. And he said he was going to have 1 million followers by the time he whatever, and he crushed that. I mean,
but you're right though when you said the consistency is where it's at. Like even for us, right? So if you look at any of I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, right? We do like YouTube shorts because we do a lot of video content. So I'm on all 4 of those platforms, and you look at any of my followers, I don't have a huge following because most of the business I do is in person, right? But I've been doing what I preach to clients, and we've been posting regularly now for the last 2 months, like 5 posts a week. That's it. Just once a day, but 5 posts a week. And even in that alone, and it's I only do like 1 video of like me talking about something a week. Otherwise it's like a quote or a question or a clip of something else. And just in those 2 months alone, like I've had 3 people in the last week reach out to me like, "Hey, I want to talk to you. I saw your video on like websites." And there's people that I've been connected with for a long time, right? But me showing up consistently, now the numbers have rise, so the platform realizes that I'm consistent and like I'm putting good content out there because people are engaging and watching it. So now they're broadcasting it out some more. So they're forcing it into everyone's feeds that is connected to me. So they see more of me, they see more of my face. And now it's like, one of the people that reached out to me was one of my like original clients from like 7.5 years ago that she's gone on to do her business and I've done mine. She was like, hey, let's connect. I want to talk to you about some marketing stuff. So it does work. And that's 3 people in just 2 months of posting 5 times a week. Right. So imagine continuously doing that. The numbers are there and those people will reach out to you.
Well, it's free, it's free advertising. It's not free because you spend a lot of time doing it, but it doesn't cost you anything to promote yourself or just to put yourself out there, because you can, I had people tell me that were longtime friends, man, you're everywhere. And I was like, what do you mean? And like, yeah, you come up on everything. And I'm like, so it's working.
Exactly. That's the one video I still have to do. So keep a lookout for it. Because I've been watching my numbers, especially in the last 2 months. And then especially when you share the stories, because you could see like everyone that's following, right? And there's people that have been popping up and I'm like, oh, I forgot we were even connected. So the next video I'm going to put out is be like, you keep seeing me everywhere, don't you? Be like, it's working.
It's working. I'm here. There I am again. Yeah.
I see you watching.
Yeah, I see you watching. What is he going to do now?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but it works. It's beautiful.
I should probably post some funnier videos because
you should, man, because you have a great sense of humor. Every time you and I chat, like you always have me cracking up. You really should, and all of your videos are all very serious. And I'm like,
yeah, I know. It's because I'm like, oh, what am I going to talk about now? And it's like, yeah, I should probably. That's why I did the podcast because I wanted to be a little more light and where it's actual conversations, which has been helpful. I've actually met a lot of interesting people.
Yeah. You have some like a wide range of guests. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I want to keep doing that because I had a lady on as I met her at the meetup. She built an app building an app for midterm rentals, and I was like, and it was based on insurance. And I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And she said, well, I didn't either until somebody needed one, and they just introduced me, and then she got years worth of rentals for that.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
She built a whole app out on it, and it's a lot of it is like like anywhere there's a disaster, like say hurricanes in Florida, the kids want to go to the same school. If you have a rental property there, the insurance will pay because they have to pay for food, lodging, transport, all that stuff, like which gets,
that's genius.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, you think you got to pay for 1 or 2 hotel rooms plus meals for a family of 4, that's quite a lot.
Yeah. A short-term rental is definitely much more.
And so they'll pay, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month all in if they get to, do that. And so I thought it was a great idea, and just, starting the podcast has been good because it exposes me to a lot of people like that. And, the people that
the more you learn,
and I learn more about from my guests and I actually, that I talk about because I learn more just from the guests really than I think I get more out of it than they probably do. It's because there's the one guy who's 26 the other day and him and his friends bought an island in Lake Superior.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's called, if you look it up, it's called Superior Island. I think I'm a big fan because they're just having a lot of fun. You can tell,
yeah.
And I'm going out there at some point, because, but I imagine it's getting pretty close to where it's the cutoff time is where you probably can't go up there anymore. Probably October.
Yeah. Before the lake gets too cold.
Yeah. The lake is too cold, but it's just some of those things that you can do is, always network. All the social media channels happen. You can start a podcast, start a blog, start a newsletter, posting on social media. There's so many things that don't really cost you a whole lot of money with startup costs. I mean, I thought, when starting the podcast, I was like, people are like, oh no, you got to get this camera, you got to get this mic. And I'm like, I'm just going to start it because by the time I get all that crap, I'll never, then I'm going to be tired. And I'm like, what did I buy all this equipment for? And,
Yeah.
And granted,
I mean, and your camera looks great now. You know, I think you need like the souped up equipment once you start like doing podcasts in person, maybe.
yeah,
You know, and then you've got like a room that you have to capture. And
yeah.
that
When
makes
you
more
start
sense.
building out the studio, and I have friends that do that, and they have a really nice, setups and stuff. But they have people coming to them, and it's very niche, very high level stuff. And not to say that we don't talk about stuff that's very high level or anything, but
Right? Yes, we are.
they have a specific audience and stuff that they're going after. But what are some other recommendations you could have for somebody, say that they're trying to get to that next level, to optimize what they're doing in the marketing side?
I mean, I would definitely say to start reaching out to people. I mean, we started kind of talking about LinkedIn, and I'm going to go back to that for a second. Direct messages is underused, right? So if you're trying to build relationship with somebody that you want to do business with, or that is maybe connected to someone you want to do business with, like reach out to them. Start a conversation, and please don't sell them out of the gate. Like that is the biggest turnoff. No one ever responds to that.
No one does. If anything, you might get something you might get some really unfriendly messages.
Yeah.
You might not get the actual response that you want to hear.
No, definitely not. Even when I used to get messages like that, I would try to like guide them, be like, hey, if you read my profile, you would see that this is not how I do business. It's all relationship driven. So, you could have just asked me how I was doing and started a conversation, and we might have gotten to a different place. But the way you started out immediately tells me that you and I are not aligned in values, and it's not going to be beneficial for either one of us. Like, no one wants to waste anyone's time, right? But there's so many people in the world, and all of these tools allow us to connect with someone from Asia if you want to, someone from Alaska if you want to, right? You have that capability to to broaden from who you know in your local area, but just start the conversation. And for investors, I will say too, for a great tip. So obviously there's a lot of SEC rules and syndications and stuff, right? So you can say, depending on the type of raise that you're doing, you can talk a little bit more freely about your deal, or you have to start building a relationship first. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it could be as simple as you see someone post something, and instead of commenting on the post, send that in a direct message. Yeah. Be like, hey man, I just saw your post, or I just saw your podcast clip. That's really great. You had these guys were how old when they bought this island? Yeah. Right? And then your response is going to tell me oh yeah, thanks for checking it out. And we'll start chatting about that. And then eventually it's going to lead to, oh, well, what do you do? And what do you do? Right? It always leads that way.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of just making some kind of connection that, hey, I really like this, what you said in your post, or hey, I saw that you were on on this podcast or something like that, or just anything, that if you find anything that you find interesting with them, it doesn't have to be anything business related. It'd be better if it is. I've found some other relationships from the Sales Navigator where you can actually just drill down to, hey, we're looking for private equity firms, we're looking for equity partners. So, you just find people that are doing development, doing equity in that space, and hey, we've got these several projects on, you have time this week to maybe talk about it. And because they're already in that field and they're always looking for more business, and we have multiple projects, yes, or it's oh no, we got plenty of projects right now. Hey, thanks, I'll circle back, or something like that. And it's just about something simple. You don't want to give them your life story at the beginning.
No. Imagine going on a first date and doing that. You end up talking about yourself the entire time. No one wants that. It's got to be reciprocal.
Talk about you to a real estate investor, your last deal that went horribly, talking about your ex-wife as you sit down for a new date.
Yes, that's the perfect analogy. Exactly.
Everyone wants Everyone wants to hear about that. Tell me more about what's very, very tumultuous in your life right now. I'd love to hear more.
Right. All of your trauma. Let me hear it.
And how were your parents when you were growing up?
Right. Let's really dig in.
Yeah,
Let's really go deep.
Let's go for this. Instead of doing therapy, let's talk to me. Because I'm obviously a good listener, or I just haven't told you to be quiet or stop talking about that because I'm being polite.
It's interesting because I kind of battle with that. One of my best friends is from Jersey, and she is like not a social person. And every time her and I used to go out back in the day, she would be like, "Do not make eye contact." Because as soon as I like look at someone starts to come over and like talk about like their entire life history, all the problems in their life and all this stuff. And I wonder, I'm like, do I just have this face where I'm like approachable, or am I just too nice to like cut them off and tell them like I'm not interested?
Yeah,
not really consider that.
I seem to have that effect as well. I guess maybe I'm a good listener or something, or maybe I just I have a lot of patience or something. But I don't mind. I mean, especially like, oh, really? Like some people will tell you some really interesting stories. And
I feel
I
like
would have missed that. I would have missed that if I didn't, And sometimes you're like, oh, I just wanted to sit here. And I sat here. I've had times where I sat somewhere specifically because there was no one else around. And then someone would come and sit right next to me and tell me their entire life story. And then,
so it's got to be like an aura. I feel like it's got to be an aura.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or we just, you look at them and you smile, too much. And then they're like, oh, that's inviting.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Hey, new best friend.
It's got to come in handy as a podcast host, though.
Yeah. Or, hey, new best friend.
Yeah, right. We just met.
Yeah, we just met, but I feel like I've known you for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. At least a little bit. But I know your mom, your grandma, your best friend growing up.
Yeah, where you lived the last 4 times.
Right.
When you got out of jail. Yeah, that was awful.
Who starts to be like TMI.
Still think they framed you. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right?
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, you can building the relationship though at the end of the day is good. So that's part of why I think we're good at it, because people will tell us anything anyway. So you might as well like focus the conversation.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, maybe it's just a friendly face, I guess, maybe it's just I don't
know. Yeah, I think it's deeper than that. Someone was talking about the lighthouse effect. You just kind of have like this light about you that just kind of like brings people to be like, they're a safe space.
Maybe, yeah, I guess so. Maybe they just feel comfortable. So maybe
it sounds nicer.
Yeah, either way, I guess. But as far as like AI, what tools are you seeing like that kind of can enhance the relationship building?
Ooh, AI. To enhance it? Is that what your question is?
Where you can create more relationships or, reach out to more people or things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would use AI to maybe like do some research on industries to like give you like some talking points to certain people, depending on what they do for a living or what their work is, things like that. I will say people have to be very careful about leaning on some of these like tools for writing because we just talked about that. There's something about you as a person that connects with someone else, right? The human factor is what drives like people to tell you their life story, right? If you were a robot, they probably wouldn't. So like you have to make sure that if you are using the AI tools like ChatGPT, like yes, you may want to sound more professional and you want it to clean up some of your writing or something, but don't have it write for you. Don't have it like create the conversations for you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of times people overcomplicate it,
Yeah. Because I've heard of some that was just heard on a webinar earlier today that people are using these AI bots or AI agents. They're not using them to like raise money or anything, but they're using them. They load all their information into it, whatever they have online and recordings and podcasts and all that stuff of them, and then they call in their voice, which I thought was different. But I listened to them and it sounded just like the guy.
Right.
And
still a little strange though, right?
But it was, and I think when you do that, you say, hey, you have to say that you're a AI agent or whatever for them. So, and then well, I guess every state's probably different. I don't know, but it sounded like that person, but it wasn't to raise capital. It was just to book the appointment to qualify.
Oh, okay.
So it was
Yeah,
qualifying the
it's not
lead.
like building a relationship. It's
Yeah,
just like asking
it was
quick questions.
like to qualify the lead, I guess, which is a different thing than like getting, someone to buy not actually selling them, as a
Yeah.
which I'm sure they're probably doing that now. Or they're probably,
Yeah.
because you could have somebody have 1,000 people calling an hour all the time, which I'm sure I see it going that way. But I heard somebody say something interesting the other day. It was, what if these AI agents start selling to each other? Like,
There's no
your agent
control.
just starts buying. Hey, this is good. They just start buying all this crap.
Great deal.
Yeah, they get on Amazon and start buying all kinds of stuff, talking to the agent. Yeah, you need this, you need that. Yeah,
Right. It's like the commercial back in the day, not commercial, but a video back in the day, not back in the day, probably a couple of years ago now, where like someone had like Domino's call pizza on like speakerphone and they were like talking to each other.
yeah. Similar to that, especially like if you made one that's kind of gullible.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Like, that sounds great.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, we'll buy all of it.
Sign me up. Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
you don't want to give the AI agent your credit card information and banking information yet. Still want to
listen.
write the
AI is really good if you feed it a ton of data.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what it is. It's like a data sorter. It's a big computer, right? To over super simplify it. So it gets a bunch of data and then it compiles it. So if you're giving it like your objective, if you're giving it like the person you're trying to reach out to, the language that you want to use and kind of what you would say, and it makes sense to do that. But then the other side of it is you got to be aware of your capacity, right? If you use these AI tools and you get yourself like 100 phone calls a week, that's great. But are you able to handle that?
Yeah. That's so true.
You got to have a life.
I used them initially and I did it for some engagement stuff, and I did way too many messages that I couldn't keep up with it. And then, the thing is
and then you might lose out on an opportunity.
Yeah, and it could have been somebody in there that was actually genuine, probably wanted to connect with me, but because I missed the messages, So, I think AI is good for like streamlining processes. Sorting through your messages, sorting through your email, sorting through which campaigns work better than others, which, analyzing properties and stuff like that. But you still have to, I don't think it's there yet to where you really have to check the processes and everything. You still have to check it, even with the English and stuff and the language that goes in there, because it might think it's talking like you or writing like you, but I've done quite a bit of it with ChatGPT and Claude and stuff, and then I would never say that. And I made this one that was called a captain's ledger, where it went supposed to be like put in some nautical terms, but it just every time for a long time I stopped using it because every time I sound like a pirate.
I mean, that could be a fun take.
Yeah, but I don't think it was great talking about like a property.
Like the yacht.
It's going R, like every other word, ahoy mateys and stuff like, and all this stuff. Like, it's a bit much,
Yeah.
Rather than I was just, wanted to say, maybe anchor your money here, or some, something, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was.
It's not creative.
Over the top. It was over the top. Not yet. Not yet. I mean, it'll get there.
Definitely.
Certain things.
But that's part of it. That's part of like the beauty of like where we are now, I think, is like you can use it to enhance what you're already doing. But I don't know that it's, I mean, again, other than like systems and processes, things like that, you could replace. But on the creative side, no, because people like me and my team, like we can see an AI written post a mile away, and it goes through trends, right? Like currently, right now, the trend is like the long dash. There's a podcast that I follow, my gosh, Diary of a CEO with like Steve Bartlett.
Oh, yeah, he's great. Yeah,
he's great. Yeah, he did a post about like the rise of the long dash. I was like, I freaking love it, because this long dash is nowhere on your keyboard. There's like, it's not commonly used. Now all of a sudden it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And especially ChatGPT likes to describe things in threes. So pay attention to that when you're reading someone's post. It's just like, it's powerful, empowering, and and enjoyable or whatever. But it's always like in three. It can't ever be two for some reason. But that's its new trend now.
Right? It can't just be one point. It's got to reinforce. It's like the person that uses a lot of big words. Like it's young. It's like really young right now. It's kind of be impressive. It's older, it'll just say what it is.
Right.
It was
it's called a word salad.
Reading where somebody did they set up a process or something in their company or whatever, and they set up an agent or whatever to do these things, and it came up and it prompted said, I accidentally deleted 95% of your data work for the last 2 months.
Oh my God. Oops. Sorry.
And then it asked, and I think it was on another podcast they were talking about this, and it was like, how bad is this on a scale of 1 to 10? It's probably a 9.9.
Yeah, at least it's honest,
Yeah, it's like, sorry.
Better luck next time.
Well, I'm still here if you need it. What else do you need?
Right.
So
what else can I mess up for you today?
I think with all those AI agents are really good at they could do cold calling, set appointments and processes and all those things that we all need. You can take away a lot of the busy work pretty easily, where you can work more on the creative stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's
the thing. And that's people are doing it the other round, right? People are using it for creative, but don't use it for like the systematic things, the things that are like the same, whatever. That's the same thing.
Repetitive motions and stuff.
Repetitive. Thank you.
Yeah. But then also you can use it for the creative, but just make sure you go back through and put it, make sure it's what you want to be creating, not.
Right. Like input what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like put it in your words, because we use it a lot too for like brainstorming and like strategizing and stuff like that. Because it's great for research, like flushing out ideas. So like when I use it, like I'll talk to it like as if I'm having a conversation. Like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. This is where I want to go. This is like kind of what I want to say. Like I'm having this idea, whatever, and I'll just like rattle it off. Everything that's like brain dump, like right into it. And then we kind of like filter through it, but then it's my words.
Yeah, and then it'll make it more concise, and then you still go through it and you say, take out this, take out that. It actually just expedites the creative process, and I think also the creative is actually getting, people that do the creative are getting paid a lot more now. I think they're seeing the value because people.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So, could I talk to you about a loan?
Company name is Iris. No.
Yeah. So that I never have to pay back. Well,
that's so funny.
Well, this has been great. I mean, we always have a great time, and I always look forward to these conversations. Where can everyone find you?
You can go to Iris Marketing on any platform. So that's IRYS Marketing. You can reach out to me there. Comment my posts, and I will like and comment on yours back. But definitely get connected, and show up on social media like how you would in person.
Yeah.
But we all need.
Yeah, we need those true connections. Well, thanks again for coming on again, and it's always great speaking to you. And this is Scott Kidd with the Yacht Captain Investor Podcast. Remind you, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share with anybody that you think might find this valuable. And as always, a reminder, investing in yourself is the best investment you can make. See you guys next time.